Workshops that we are doing, we're actually one workshop at one of the so Communication Styles 101 is going to happen on March 16th, so it's coming up and tickets are available right now. And you can do the virtual workshop will be at 7 until 8:30, and the Lunch and Learn is 11:30 to 1 o'clock.
And all of the Lunch and Learns are at the Idea Center, which is where we are actually located.
Yes.
And then we also have one called Conflict Resolutions for Teams. And this is the part of our communication workshop where we really dive into building your personal and professional conflict resolution skills. Maybe even thinking of it as conflict transformation. So that is happening on April 13th. If you go to the QR code, you can learn more about that. And it's the same link on every slide for that QR code. So,
and then finally, we're going to be, not even finally, I think there's one more. Embracing personal leadership in times of crisis. We're going to bring this was our most popular virtual workshop that we did in 2020. So we're going to bring this one back, and this is building skills to have peace of mind and lead yourself well in the midst of uncertainty. And when it comes to leadership, when it comes to building a team or leading a team, there's crisis no matter what. Whether it's a pandemic or it's a war that's happening right now. Like, there's a lot that's going on in the world, but also personally we have a lot that happens that we need to learn how to lead through their own personal crisis, or the company is going through a crisis. And so that's what this workshop is about. And this one's going to be on Wednesday, May 11th. Same options, Lunch and Learn during the daytime or virtual workshop in the evening.
And all three of these topics are available for us to bring into your organization as well. And then we have what we're most excited about. This is our leadership principles for her mastermind. This is a 5-month high-level coaching program to help women step into the shoes of a wise, confident leader that people love to work with. So this is what these books are right here. We have taken 8 years of content and packaged them into 5 different curriculum books that are kind of set up like a devotional, where there's like a short story and then questions to help you activate all of the principles that you learn in these books. Now, this is our like very high level intense coaching program, but it is designed where companies could bring in one segment of it at a time. And each book is focused on what RAYMA Team stands for. So one of the things that we were told when we were rebranding was if we were going to name our company after ourselves, which is what RAYMA stands for, it's like our bestie couple name, to make sure that it actually stands for something else in case we ever wanted to sell it someday. And at the time I was like, we're not going to want to sell this. Like, we're handing this over to the kids as their empire. But it was really good advice because it helped us come up with the foundational mindsets that we teach to every client and organization. And that is resilience, authenticity, a yes attitude, motivation, and assertiveness. And so all of these books have principles that deal with each of those foundational mindsets. If you go to the QR code, you can learn more about this specific program, and you can also contact us about bringing it to your organization or anybody that has like a women's empowerment focus. This is the type of curriculum and content that could be really powerful for the women. So coaching. At RAYMA Team, you will get certified coaches. That has always been something that's important to us, is that we have coaches that have certification. And Our job is to help you go from where you are now to where you want to be. And our focus for this was really to kind of set it up like almost like a counseling center, but coaching. So long-term goal is to eventually bring in other coaches. And the coaching industry itself is not regulated, meaning you don't have to be certified to be a coach. However, there's a lot of valuable training that you miss if you don't have some sort of certification. Even the aspect of knowing the difference between like coaching and counseling is important, because some people who just wake up and say, I'm going to be a life coach, but they've never gone through any type of certification, they might not know that they're walking a dangerous line between therapy and coaching.
Mm-hmm. So what we decided to do when we first started our company, Mandy and I offered the same kind of coaching. We did similar things, and what we wanted to do is really separate that and walk more in our own expertise, so that we could give our clients some choices, and Mandy and I could actually kind of narrowly focus on what it is we wanted to do and the clients we wanted to have. So Mandy's area of expertise, she is a certified life coach. Both Mandy and I still continue to do life coaching with people. And that's where you're going to find the mindset coaching, discovering your purpose, building your confidence, working on leadership skills. Life coaching is often, for both Mandy and I, a little bit more of a slower track. We have to meet with clients once a month for that, and so we're building skills over time. She also just recently got certified as an executive coach and a leadership coach. And so the difference between an executive coach and a leadership coach will often be the executive coach is going to be more career focused. It's going to be more for somebody who is leading a team and wants to work on their leadership skills. Executive coaching is also a little bit more faster paced. You're often meeting more often with her for longer periods of time. You do get more access to Mandy during executive coaching for weekly check-ins and things like that. And then finally, she does work as a speaker and a writing coach. I think going through the whole TEDx process really solidified that love for her of helping other people work on their own writing and speaking. And that can be anything from having to put together a keynote to she just recently had a client that needed to give like an encouraging speech to her team because she wanted to recognize them during like a celebration. And so it can be something simple, like you need to go talk in front of a team and you've never done that before. People really, like, public speaking is the number one fear, so we know that is something people need help with. And it was one session and she was good to go. So these are the areas that Mandy really does excel at. And then you can see some of the raving reviews from some of her past clients.
And then Raychel is also a certified life coach. And she's also a business and a career coach. And people always ask, what's the difference between that and executive coaching? And really what Raychel helps her clients with that come to her for business coaching, she is probably stronger and enjoys setting up systems more than I do. I'm way more creative and people oriented. She helps with, strategy and setting up those type of systems. And then she's also a relationship coach. And this has evolved into more than just like marriage coaching or friendship coaching. It really has evolved into team coaching. So anytime we've had some clients that maybe have some conflict on their team and they're not quite sure what the problem is or how to remedy it, because they're also friends with the people that they work with and they really care about the relationship, so they don't really know sometimes how to address the conflict. Working with Raychel in a group session like that can be really valuable because she's really good at spotting BS when it comes to excuses and sometimes our own toxic behaviors in relationships. And so she's really good at setting up parameters of like, how can you grow through that and what are the measuring points to see where the health of your relationship is. So that is us. We are RAYMA Team, and we're excited to sit on the couch now and
I'm super
chat with you.
I love the couch.
I will give you this. You get the clicker. I was wondering whose cup drop that was.
That's mine.
Okay. Yes.
right, in front of these marvelous coaches.
Sit on the
Well,
edge.
I just have to say, this is so cool. I think I understand. This is embarrassing. I don't know if I was sleeping in February. I'm kidding. I wasn't. I think I get it so much better now.
We probably
probably
explained
explained it
it a
better.
little better too. I mean, there's nothing like a pandemic to bring some
Or a
clarity
rebrand.
and a rebrand.
Who am I?
Right. Because it turns out a rebrand isn't done when you go public. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
a whole nother year or two after that. They're still trying to figure things out. So I think we probably are learning how to explain it a little
Oh.
better too.
Great job.
Thank you.
Because
Thanks.
I'm sitting over there just smiling because you do all the stuff that I don't like to do. I mean, no offense, but you guys know, right? I'm a data geek. If you remember when, so give me numbers, but don't give me relationships. And so you two are,
Yeah.
it's awesome. Together we're whole.
Yes.
I feel so good. This is like therapy. Oh, by the way, yeah, it's like when you sat on the couch, I'm like, so about your mother.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Like, how cozy should we get here? Like,
Sorry, I digress. Dude,
We can get real cozy.
Yeah,
on
we
that.
can.
and honest to God, if you don't ask questions, this is the best it's going to get. So come on, people, let's go. Bring it, let's go. Oh, Jackie's going, please, I can save these people.
Jackie has questions.
So many questions. Thank you
oh,
both.
good.
Okay, one of the first things I was thinking about, Mandy, you alluded to this. I think it's a wonderful point. So I was part of a cohort with health coaching through the Autoimmune Encephalitis Alliance. And I can't lie, I was kind of like, meh. But I told myself, Jackie, you give this a try. You have things to learn. And I did. It was really neat. But part of what they wanted was a lot of feedback. And so the feedback I gave was like, this was neat, I learned. However, I'm afraid that people, if they don't have a counselor and they are in need, that there could be kind of a real problem in some gray area. And that was one thing I remember thinking a counselor, a counselor is a counselor, and like a health coach was what I was part of, is different. So Mandy, maybe you could kind of talk about, you said you walk a little bit of a fine line. How do you respond to that if people are maybe treating you more as a counselor versus, this executive coach or whatever nature you're in?
So I'm going to bring Raychel into this as well because she actually has a counseling degree. And all of my schooling has been from the School of Hard Knocks and finding my own certifications because I'm a college dropout. So, but I will tell you what I have learned from my own journey of having anxiety and depression and different health issues that I've had to overcome because I have cystic fibrosis. I think there is huge value in working with a counselor and a coach. And sometimes together, sometimes at different times. But definitely the coaching industry itself was started as a spin-off of like positive psychology. And so there definitely is going to be a tiny bit of an overlap because anybody who has limited mindsets and like negative beliefs and that type of thing, working with a coach can be really beneficial. The certification is important as a coach because you might find when you're working with somebody, hey, this is an issue that I'm actually not qualified to help you with anymore because it goes deeper. Like when you work with people, you can kind of know, okay, some of your belief with this is because of things that have happened in your past that you haven't dealt with.
Right.
And that's probably where you can explain counseling a little better too.
Right. So my first career was going to be I was going to be an actual therapist. I was going to go and get my master's and eventually my doctorate, which is still maybe on the thing. I have this thing about having doctor in front of my name, but we'll see. So I think for me that kind of set us up to really be able to kind of cross over. I'm not certified, or I'm not I used to be board certified as a counselor, and I used to work with churches here in town. So it kind of does set us up a little bit where we can cross the line a little and not cause harm. That's generally what you want to be careful of when you're a coach, is this idea that you can handle more than you should. And anytime you're working with a client that is stuck somewhere, whether it's health or life or career or business, you're going to stumble on things that are like, that's something from the past that they haven't gotten over yet. There's trauma involved. And most of the time, like Mandy and I do not, I think the more clear we've gotten on what kind of coaching we have, this happens way less. That we have people coming to us that should be going to a counselor. It happened a lot more in the beginning. But when we do find that with a client, it is in our contracts and stuff too that we will refer out. We often have clients that are doing both. Mandy and I have both. We find that we're much better coaches when we have counselors. And Yeah, so I think that's why the certification is important, because even just what you went through, like, people are going to need counselors at some point. And so you just have to be okay with the fact that when you stumble into something that you're like, I'm not qualified for, you can say, I'm not qualified for this. This is something that you're going to probably want to talk to a counselor about. If you don't want to talk about it right now, that's fine. And I have, because I started doing marriage coaching and some of these other things, I have big boundaries around certain clients, and we're here to talk about business, and we won't be bringing in the relationship with that. So I've had to have conversations like that where we remind them of the boundaries and where we're at and what we're here for. So.
I think as a coach, you develop that. You definitely don't have it right away.
No.
If you're just starting out as coaching, like if you've been a manager or a leader in a different industry, you probably have developed that skill. But the people that come to us who are like, I want to be a coach someday, I mean, I've had situations with clients where we were talking on a topic that evoked a lot of strong emotions to the point where she was almost yelling at me. And if she were here today, we would totally be smirking at each other, because that for me at the time was like, I came out of that session and I think I remember saying to you, I'm not sure if this client is staying with us, but I'm very proud of myself because I didn't cry. So like you develop a lot of these skills as a coach that you don't realize you need going in. And over time, I think you kind of are able to like kind of just remove that identity of what they do with the coaching is a reflection on how good I am as a coach, because that's not true.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Awesome. Thank you for your question, Steve.
Yeah, great
Great conversation. All right, now, Kate.
Yeah, I'm curious about the spin-off of the publishing side of the business, why you spun it off, and then maybe just kind of like if other people are wanting to publish a book, or what, just kind of what the process is on your publishing side.
Okay.
So really we spun it off because we see ourselves helping other people publish their own books as well. And so we kind of just wanted to have a good division in our business and on the books of, okay, these are the royalty fees from books and this is how we're going to pay each other. And then someday once we have certified coaches, if they need help with it, we'll already have that system set up. So it's not like we are looking to grow a huge money-making publishing department, but from the get-go, our books have been very focused on what our clients need and what they're asking for. And so anytime that we have pitched books to actual, like traditional publishers, they've come back. One time somebody came back saying that the writing was good, but the angle was too much of a niche. And we had a decision to make, like, do we want to spend our time chasing traditional publishers, or do we want to publish content that people are asking for
And quickly.
And so that's kind of why we did it. And granted, we have like contracts between the two of us. If somebody wanted to come and take, say, my book or Rachel's book and publish it traditionally, like, we would definitely think about that and look at it. We probably would say yes. I mean, there's a lot to go with that.
There's a lot. We learned a lot about royalty fees and contracts. We're still, I think,
We're
when it
still
comes
learning
to that,
some
we're
of
still
that.
learning. And then we already had the podcasting division side of it, so we decided, like, books-wise, and once we LLC'd RAYMA Team as just Mandy and I as the owners, we figured as far as our accountant goes, he'd probably be happy if we kind of separated some of the checking accounts. And when it comes to royalties and we wanted to think more long-term. So if we did bring somebody else on as an author and we were in charge of royalties, how would we want to do that and make sure it's not all in the same, RAYMA Team account that, Beautiful Homes tickets are going into and all of that. So that gave us a lot of time, I think, during the pandemic as we were practicing, publishing all of these books and re-putting out old content. We republished a couple of things that we had published as Big Blue Couch under the RAYMA Team Media heading. So yeah, we're still learning, I think, a lot when it comes to it, but I think we wanted to set it up correctly right away. So however it grew, we could.
And also have creative control. I think giving over our work to other traditional publishers and having them tell us how they want it to look or all of that might be hard for me, especially because I'm a very visual person, and I actually design all the books and I format them as well, which I shouldn't do because somebody else can totally do it. But it kind of feeds my introvert self, where it's like, give me 3 hours, I'll have it done, it'll be fine. But eventually, that type of stuff I would like to hand over to other people. But we doing 12 or 11 or 12 in a year, we just kind of had to get it done.
And we do have some options kind of set up for if you do want to come in and have us help you publish a book. Kind of depends on what stage of your book you're in. Like if the book is done, we can help with the actual publishing, teach you how to get it on the #1 list in Amazon. We learned how to do that this year. That's a whole thing. And then we do have some different coaching options if you're like, I have an idea for a book. Like that's a very different level than I have a book I've already written. What do I do with it? So we have some different options on that too.
Awesome. Thank you, Kate. I think that our person who is new to 1 Million Cups is holding that mug. Isn't that mug awesome? So welcome and thank you for asking a question.
Thank you. I have a question for you from the beginning of your journey to now. What have you done to brand yourself through the company and marketing, and what have you done to get your name out there, either online or in the market, in the community?
That's a good question.
We've done a lot of things
lot of
from the beginning.
And some haven't gone well.
No.
Yeah.
Some we never do again.
So we definitely, like, we have a website, we have a podcast is a big part of how we get our content out there and just build community and raving fans. We've done some magazine marketing, we've done Facebook ads, we've done radio ads that I'm not so sure worked for that specific thing. They maybe worked for, we even did a TV commercial once.
We did a TV commercial.
A lot of
we
our
did,
ads have been around events.
Yeah, we've done a lot of our marketing. Like when it comes to branding, we've done a lot more of the bootstrap type things, like build your online presence, build your Instagram page, build your Facebook following or your Instagram followers. And we did have a stint on the North Dakota Today Show for 2 years. Where we were there. That was a big one for us as far as brand recognition here in town. We learned pretty quickly that we had 2 different branding markets for our Bismarck Mandan audience and even our North Dakota audience compared to our online audience. So that's a fine line we still walk of marketing to our virtual clients from all over the world and marketing here locally. Those are 2 very different ways we market. So we do simple things sometimes, like we still put up posters. We leave postcards, all of that kind of stuff.
I don't know how effective some of that
Yeah,
is.
I have no idea.
Mostly
but
because we are really bad at putting up posters. Like, we get them and we have great intentions, and then we just don't like it.
So we've tried all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to, like, the biggest thing we've learned is that we really do have some different market niches, and they do market very differently. And also the online world has changed so much from when we started on how, do not ask us how to do a Facebook ad now.
No, we're still
no
learning.
idea. Most of the time, it just feels like we're wasting money.
What used to work doesn't work anymore. And so
Building an email list is a huge one. Like when you start having your people, one of the things that we got advice on right away was to find our champions. And that was going to be our like local women who have gone through a program, have worked with us one-on-one, and really that word of mouth built a ton. We still have them. We still have some of our original champions that are still with us. I'm not sure we'll ever get them to actually leave. And I love that.
Which is fun.
Yeah,
Not that they're one-on-one coaching all the time, but they'll jump into a workshop or a 4-week program or something like that.
So we spent a lot of time just building up those relationships one-on-one. And that really helped our market here in town was the fans, raving fans talking about it. Because people, when we were one of the first to really even come out with a life coaching, being life coaches here in town, let alone having a whole company around it. So helping people understand what it meant. They were super helpful with that.
Something that I don't know why we never did it before, but we're doing it now, is being a part of networking groups. And it could have been that maybe we weren't clear on our message before, so we didn't. I don't know. I have no idea. I would like to dissect our brains on what we were thinking, because that was dumb.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking the question. I see we have another question from the audience.
So they say not to get into partnership or business with a friend. How were you friends before? How did you handle that? Do you fight and have punching bags when you're mad at each other? Like, how do you handle it?
No, now we have counselors and we have way less fights. Rachel was
Which is
smirking.
probably a little bit more expensive than a punching bag, but
Probably.
it's more
way
effective.
more effective.
Yes,
But remember, we did want to have
we
a punching
did, and I
bag at
still
one
think
point.
it would be cool.
Yeah, because I got into boxing at one point, and I need to get back into it.
We
It was
thought
a
our
rush.
our clients might like it
Yeah.
once in a while. To be able to just
So Rachel smirks because this is a question we get asked all the time. I think we were even asked this on the 1 Million Cup stage last time. And we don't recommend that people go into business with their friends because it is hard and it requires a lot of personal growth and even counseling and therapy and coaching together and outside, like individually. And so we met way back when we were little.
somewhere between 5th and 6th grade.
Yes, at Crystal Springs Baptist Camp. And back then, we had 2 other friends that were with us, and the 4 of us every summer, we went to camp for each other in the talent show because we would sing together. And so this idea and this dream of working together was birthed in us when we were itty bitty.
Mm-hmm.
And so we both kind of, I don't know, we kind of grew apart from the whole group, but Rachel and I just really kept in touch through the years. And we found ourselves living in Bismarck in the same town for the first time in our lives back in 2011. And at the time, my husband and her husband at the time were both working in the oil field. And so we kind of developed this family between us where it's almost like a sisterhood, and neither one of us have sisters. And so that is kind of where she was working on her counseling degree. I was working on getting certified as a coach. We were both going through different health things. And we kind of kept having these conversations of wouldn't it be cool if.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first wouldn't it be cool if conversation we had was in 2009 at a CF walk in Fargo about wouldn't it be cool if we published a book together or
Yep.
wrote a book together. And so these things have definitely been, I don't know, stirring between us for
Right.
years.
And we do one of the things. So I went through a divorce in 2017, and that was, he was an owner in the company, so we went through that whole process of what happens then. And it's kind of why we decided a little bit that when we rebranded and turned RAYMA Team into an LLC, that Mandy and I were going to be the only ones on the paperwork this time. And that was a big decision. But one of the things we did, and we didn't want to, but in our contracts, there is clauses in there for what happens if this ends terribly, or somebody wants out, or heaven forbid one of us dies, and what does the other one do with it? So, like, we have things written down, and yeah, we did not have that in the beginning, but I think as the company has grown and as we have grown, we've tried to be more mature about it. But yeah, we've definitely had moments where we call them awkward coffee dates.
Literally within like 5 minutes of getting to the office. And there was one time several years ago where there was like a meeting where we had to come up with content. We were teaching conflict resolution at a women's event.
Friendships too.
Over
wasn't it?
friendships.
It was friendships.
And it was like that week. And Rachel was coming around the corner to the office, and I was just like, we need to talk about something. And we had to work on our friendship before we could work on the content about friendship.
Right.
So a lot
Sometimes
of
letting the dust settle is like
Yes.
60 seconds as you like come around the corner and you're gonna
yeah,
have to-
and a lot of our all of our conflict resolution training comes from what we have had to learn and implement between the 2 of us. That has worked well, and what we've learned through all of that, because what we've learned is a lot of our conflict, just as human beings, can be imaginary, right? Like it's us over internalizing other things about people, and it skews our ability to think critically. And so we teach people how to deal with the emotional concept of that and how to get that processed within yourself before you even have a conversation, so that you're not bringing in all of
Right.
this stuff that actually makes the conflict worse. So
But yeah, no, we don't generally recommend it.
I'm sorry. I'm just kind of smiling because one of these books is about authenticity, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, gosh, it's really authentic when you're writing a conflict content in the middle of conflict.
yeah.
It happens actually pretty frequently that when we are asked to do like a keynote or something like that, that we all of a sudden get to practice what we preach. So
Yes.
Awesome. I see we have another question back there.
Yeah, so Rachel, you had kind of talked a little bit about how you have like your local market and then your like national, international market.
Yep.
What does that kind of mix look like now, and what do you want it to be in the future? Do you want to be more local based, more international?
I think we want probably a pretty good mix of both. I think when it comes to that international national market, so much of that does have to be pay to play. So some of that we just kind of like grow organically, which takes a little bit longer over time. But I think for us, we've really gone back to even when we started, that we wanted to really bloom where we were planted here in North Dakota. And I think that dream has kind of come to the surface again, where we want to really fill up our workshops and our programs and all of that stuff like we kind of did in the past with our leaders in North Dakota first. And then, as that expands, that's great. We do have a really large following on social media. We do have people all over the nation and all over the world actually that listen to the podcast, which is so trippy. And so we do have it that it's happening, but I think especially coming off the pandemic, we really want to focus a little bit more on marketing here in town and kind of building up our footprint here and our own leadership skills here and our own networking, and even kind of leaving, like who are the next leaders in this town. Like we really do want to kind of be more known here in Bismarck than we were maybe previously as Big Blue Couch, where it was more of that like national, international focus.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Great questions, everybody. My goodness, I could see. I didn't even
You
have
didn't even
to
have
use
to use
I
yours.
have to use mine. I think it's after they heard my first one. They were like, scared, like, we must fill all the time with our questions. Which works great for me. However, there is one more question, and it's the one we always ask.
Actually, there's two more.
Yeah, no, I know.
30 seconds or less. Can you give us some 5-year plan stuff so we can hold you to that?
Oh, yeah, we'll have you back in 4.5 years.
It feels right.
Yeah, we all of our 5-year plans we got in 2, and our 18-month plans we don't want. So it kind of
I
a little
think
backwards
the
now.
biggest, we're definitely still in the growing stage and the scaling stage, and so I think for sure 5 years from now, we not only want to have a coaching certification for coaches, but we want to have coaches that are already certified and on our team that can help do this, like help lead this content, because that's one of the things when it's just Raychel and I coaching, we do have a limit as ceiling as to how much work we can handle. And so having more people on board to help get the message out is where I think we'd like to be. And I don't know. I think dreaming has been a little hard.
Honestly,
Since
yeah.
I woke up after TEDx and I was just like, now what? Because that was all I focused on. Like those were some of the goals I had focused on for 3 years. And I think right now we just really want to work on building up to a really sustainable business, and who knows what will happen after that.
Okay.
Thanks so much for being here. It's great to see you again after a couple of years. And what can we, as the 1 Million Cups community, do to help you guys be successful?
I think there's 2 things. The first would be to really help us make those connections with organizations that are looking for women's empowerment training, staff leadership training, and even like we've thought about taking these courses and offering them at BSC or different entities like that and organizations. And then the second would be to come and experience us in a workshop so you kind of understand what it is, because
That's a great way to do it.
there is a lot of confusion on, well, what is coaching and what is mentoring and all this stuff. And we had that question at Beautiful Wholeness a couple weeks ago, like, what should I look for in a coach? And really the best way to know if a coach is going to work for you is to go experience them in some atmosphere.
Perfect. Well, could we give these two a round of applause, please?
Thank you.
All right. So nice to have both of you here.
Thank you. It was fun to be back.
I love your smiling faces. So thank you all for being here. Please join us, and you can see the lineup for the next couple of weeks. We have Bisman Green Dot, which is pretty cool. I'm actually really looking forward to hearing about this. It's an approach to Well, you can read it up there, but it just looks. I suggest you go out to their website and look what they're about. It's pretty cool. I went out to snag the logo and spent more time than I expected out there. The Little Odessa, they haven't firmly committed, but we're hoping and nudging, and it would be wonderful to have them here. So really hoping they'll be our folks for March 16th, and then your name there, and so please apply to present. We will have someone, so don't panic. But I just wanted to say, hey, we got an opening. We're working on filling that slot, and if you don't, Adam's probably going to come up here and do some yodeling or something like that. So please, do us all a favor and sign up. Okay. And you guys forwarded my slide for me. They're like trying to get me off stage. Anyway, yes, apply to present. Thank you. That was my lead into that. So this is how you supersede Adam coming up here with his band. All right? I hope to see your smiling faces next week. Don't forget to bring your mug club, and we'll see if we can hit some more milestones, and I will embroider some beanies in the meantime. All right? See you next week.